This lovely, native, shade-tolerant perennial flower is responsible for killing thousands of early European settlers in eastern North America. It has opposite, serrated, heart-shaped leaves and cute little puffy white flowers that the pollinators love. It thrives in both partial shade and shade. I actually plucked this one just from behind me here in the woods, in the shady woods. So it is a wonderful source of food for pollinators this time of year, when a lot of other things have already gone past their blooming season. One of the very few toxic members of the Asteraceae family, this plant blooms in late summer and all the way into the first frost, and it provides a wonderful amount of food for native pollinators. Butterflies, bees, they love this thing. Most insects cannot tolerate the toxin in this plant, but there are a few who can eat it as well. Native Americans did have some limited medicinal use for this plant, but they never ate it. And when European settlers came to the Americas, they didn't eat it either, but their cows did. And this plant contains trematol, which is a toxin that concentrates in the milk of cows and goats. So when the cows were grazing on this, they would uptake that toxin, concentrated in the milk, resulting in the death of people and calves. Nancy Hanks Lincoln, Abraham Lincoln's mom, was one of the most notable people who died from consuming milk tainted by this plant, what they called milk sickness. But she was by far not the only one. Milk sickness was a serious problem until Dr. Anna Pierce Hobbs Bixby discovered that this plant that the cattle were grazing on was the source. She was a midwife, frontier doctor, dentist, and herbologist from Illinois. And she reasoned that the cows were eating something that was making their milk toxic. But it wasn't until a medicine woman from the Shawnee tribe showed her this plant that she realized the actual cause. Anna Pierce Hobbs Bixby died in 1873. Unfortunately, it wasn't until 55 years after her death that further research confirming her discovery by men was published, and the USDA actually made it common knowledge, and farmers now know to keep their livestock away from this plant. Have you guessed the name of this plant yet? Ageratina altissima, or white snakeroot. Why is it called white snakeroot? Nobody knows. There was a rumor saying that it was because it was used to treat snake bites. It was not. But I think it's a name that is appropriate for a plant that should be respected and left for the native wildlife. Are you interested in discovering what kind of plants growing wild near you might be useful or toxic? I wrote you a book for that. It is called Ecopunk Foraging: How to Use Wild Plants for Food, Medicine, and Crafts by Melanie Weird. It is available on Amazon. Maybe they should have listened to the native people or women. Maybe.